Good evening. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. I'll tell you what, it came close today. I was biting I was nervous. Maybe you didn't know, you might not know. We were just moments away from all out devastation. I am talking about full on, all out ELE event. Yep. But right in the nick of time, Will Smith publicly apologized, and we live. We're gonna live. It's gonna be all right. He's apologized. We're back to I don't know, DEFCON 3-ish. So it's okay. Holy cow! If people would actually get worked up over something that mattered on the same level that they're worked up over all of this, we might be able to get something done. Man. Insanity. So yeah, that was much of the news today. That was about all you could find anywhere. However, as you know, I don't follow U.S. news sources, so that wasn't the top news story on RT anyway. Certainly wasn't the top news story as far as I'm concerned. I think it's all stupid. And I don't care any side of any argument of it, whether it was real, whether it was staged, whether he was right, whether he was wrong. I don't care. I don't see how that is in any way going to better our situation with the supply chain, with rising fuel costs, with, imminent World War III. Those things are the things that are going to affect us, not Will Smith's and Chris Rock's purse fight. So anyway, I don't have any tabs open tonight. I don't know. I I wasn't feeling it. I don't have a whole lot to tell you about the convoy. I didn't really watch today, and the reason why is because they were going to a rally, some kind of a health rally, and I just wasn't really interested in watching. I mean, it's the same old thing, you know what I mean? So I really wasn't interested in watching that. And aside from that, I don't know what. I'm kind of waiting to see how things shake out over the next couple of days. The convoy, and I believe I mentioned this last night. I believe I did. Yeah, I did. The convoy is going back on the road, and they are going to head back to California. And I think they're going to be leaving out Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's this Thursday or if it'll be the following Thursday. I'm not sure, to be honest. There's word a couple of convoys are headed on their way in right now to Hagerstown. But the People's Convoy is going to be heading out very shortly. They're going to, like I say, they're going to take a trip back to California. There's a list of, I think, 10 bills that are scheduled to be voted on in California. All of these bills are catastrophic. All of these bills are way beyond reason. I've actually got a press release here. Let me take you on over and let me blow this thing up a little bit. Wait, that's the JPEG. Let me bring in the PDF because that'd be a little clearer. There we go. Let me blow this up. And this is the official press release that's dated today. The organizers have determined to leave the Washington, D.C. area and take the convoy back to the states and do what truckers do best, roll. The People's Convoy is leaving Hagerstown, Maryland, and is going cross-country back to California. The California State Legislature is going to vote on the most invasive COVID-19 legislation yet. If the legislation passes, laws will be made that will make all state residents, including children, legally bound under criminal penalty of law to give up their basic medical freedoms in order to participate in society. The 10 bills that the convoy objects to are as follows. SB 871 adds COVID-19 injection to the list of immunizations for public/private school regardless of FDA approval. No personal belief exemptions, very rare medical exemptions. AB 2098 classifies anti-COVID medical opinion as unprofessional conduct subject to discipline by medical boards. In other words, if you work anywhere within the medical realm and you go against what they say is the official stance to take, they have the right to punish you. SB 866 lowers the age of tax consent to 12. That's supposed to be vax. I think that was a typo. Lowers the age of vax consent to 12 without parental consent or knowledge. SB 920 authorizes the medical board to inspect a doctor's office and medical records without a patient's consent. SB 1464 requires law enforcement to enforce public health guidelines or lose their funding. SB 1479 requires schools to create long-term testing plans and report test results to California Department of Public Health. SB 1390 prohibits any person or entity from making statements government deems untrue or misleading by any means, including on internet/ads. In other words, they would be making what we do, and I'm not saying just us, I mean alternative media, they would be making it illegal, a crime. SB 1184 authorizes school health personnel to disclose child's medical info without parents' consent to a third party. AB 1797 creates an immunization tracking system giving all government agencies access to, then this again says tax records of all persons. I'm thinking that means vax records. I think that's a typo. Let's see. AB 1993 requires proof of, that's supposed to be vax. Requires proof of COVID-19 vax for all employees and independent contractors to work in California. That says the People's Convoy unreservedly condemns these violations of basic rights that are being considered for law by the legislature of California. Marcus Summers, co-lead organizer, says we're leaving the D.C. area, but we are not abandoning this mission. Everything that we see in these 10 bills in California is in the bullseye of what we oppose. To not raise the alarm and bring pressure against these measures would be dereliction of duty. The People's Convoy is in this for the long haul. So that was the official press release from today. As you can tell, the bills that they are talking about are very serious. They're not just whatever. They're serious. And their further concerns are that if California gets these laws or laws like this established, that it's only a matter of time before other states and eventually the federal government would be installing the same measures. So I agree with the organizers that the right move is to get back on the road. But I think that's the right move for a host of reasons. That's not even the most important of them. I think it's even more important that they get back on the road to raise a little hell. To go back across this, and when I say that, I don't mean that literally, but to go back across this country and to get people reignited, reinvigorated, re-involved. One of the things that they have recently been asking for is for people in their individual states to organize, and I know some states have been doing a bang-up job of it. Other states, I think, have been slacking behind a little bit. Now they've got all 50 states reserved under the People's Convoy, and so they're going to be helping out a little bit as far as the place for people to meet. Okay? So all of this is going to be coming together, and I would say pay very close attention to it. I would say if you are of like mind, get involved. Whether it's standing at an overpass cheering them on, or whether it's helping organize in your own states to go to your own state capitals. But I think that this trek back across the nation is going to help reignite that as well. I think that more people will work harder in their states after seeing that convoy come through and cheering them on the overpass. I think that's going to ignite more and more people. Those people that are already ignited, it's going to really light their fire. This is what we need. This is what we need. People, a lot of people, including myself, don't like new things. They don't like change necessarily. And I think that's a lot of the attitude towards the convoy moving on, is because it's change. It's the unknown. And I think it's going to be just fine. I think they're going to pick up, they're going to roll out, and I think that it's going to do exactly what they intended to do as far as the revitalization. I can't promise that they're going to succeed in their mission in California because, it's California. But what I can tell you is California has a whole hell of a lot of great people in it that feel the same way. I really think this is a good idea. And I think after they fulfill whatever mission it is that they at least feel enough to move forward again, I hope they trek back across the country, and I do believe that is their plans, and reignite people again, and yes, wind back up in the D.C. area. And that's their intentions. Their intentions are fully to go back to D.C. But I would have to agree, in light of the bills that they're trying to get passed in California, I understand their decision to take the convoy back to California. There's even some people from California. In fact, I think I overheard somebody talking about there was somebody, that just got there not long ago from California. Came all the way from California to Hagerstown to be with the convoy. Now they're going back, and they're excited. They're thankful because they're from there. They're vested in what happens there. So even though they've already came all the way across country just to be with the convoy, they're raring and ready to go back. This is what we need. This is the type of unity. This is the type of looking out for one another This is the type of spirit that we need if we want to turn this around. I would love to see it. I would love to see us turn this around. I'm not hopeful for it, and I don't say that to be a Debbie Downer. I say that because I'm looking at the big picture. I'm looking at everything else going on, especially geopolitically. And I kind of have a feeling that we're going to have far bigger things. I don't want it's going to come out wrong if I say far bigger things to worry about. I don't really mean it that way. But we're going to have more impending things or more immediately important things like food and water and God else knows. I mean, if we do go to war, I have a feeling it's gonna get dark pretty quick, and I hope I don't mean that figuratively. I don't intend to mean that figuratively, or literally. I mean it figuratively. I just have a feeling things are gonna have a big shake-up here quick enough. What I'd been really watching for is an ease of tensions between Ukraine and Russia, because to me that's where a lot really lies, because NATO has to wait until Russia makes a misstep, or at least they have to make that misstep appear, if you know what I mean. And if Russia and Ukraine come to an agreement and things simmer down, NATO getting that moment is going to look more and more unlikely. Now, I think NATO wants that moment. I really do. I'm not sure where Putin stands on it. I have no idea. I gave up on trying to speculate his moves when he invaded, because I didn't think he was going to do that. And if he did that, I thought maybe he was just going to, make a small little incursion and pick up the the Donbass region or whatever. And that would be it. And then next thing I know, he's all the way across the other side of the country. And I'm like, okay, well, I better not speculate on what Putin's going to do, because I clearly have no idea. And so I don't forget that. And I don't have no idea. He could mean to take all of the Ukraine, or he could intend to take Poland along with it. I'm not going to say either way. I have no idea. I didn't think he was going to do what he did. And then when he made the initial incursion, I thought, well, it was just going to be that. And he proved me wrong again. So, I don't know. But I do know that there's a whole lot of other things that surround this, that regardless of whether or not we actually go to war or not, there's going to be some major, major disruptions. That's going to involve everything from food to fuel to you name it. So get ready for that. I don't think we've even remotely started to see the fallout from everything that's occurring. I don't think we're far off. I think within about a month, we might get a good taste. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see how it's going to go any differently. I don't know of anything in particular to discuss. I'm trying to think. I reckon I could just bring up the headlines and go through them and get the heck out of here. Make it another easy night. Like I say, some nights, I don't know. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse when I bring up like some nights I'll bring up 5, 6 stories and it's all war, and it's like I feel like I'm just beating that into the ground, and I don't want to be doing that. I want you to be informed, but I don't want you to be fear-mongered. You know, I don't know. Hang on a second. Figured you didn't want to hear me blow my nose. So anyway, I just figure you don't want to be fear-mongered, so I'm not going to do it. Alright, but I do get my sips of coffee and my vapes. Now that I blew my ear out with blowing my nose. Seriously, the pressure's all screwed up now. Huh. First world problems. Alright. Okay. Hey, my ear came back. Good deal. Okay, all of them from, well, that I started sharing out this morning anyway. Oh yeah, my RT thing disappeared again. I hate that. Hang on. I want it back. Give it back. Oh, not that one. I don't want that one. I want that one. Give that one back. There. Okay. New Zealand to help with Ukrainian military intelligence. India ready to bypass dollar and trade with Russia. Biden's approval rating sinks to record low, says a poll. Which had another joke, too, about the whole, debacle with Will Smith. The only one at this point that's got a lower approval rating than Will Smith is Joe Biden. So, Turkey discovers naval mine near EU country's border. Russia sets ruble gas payment deadline. North Korea makes striking capabilities pledge. Australia accuses China of intimidation attempt. Ukraine pleads with Red Cross not to open office near its border in Russia. I thought that was interesting. Japan reveals a problem with freezing Russian reserves. China announces another massive lockdown. Germans told to wear a sweater to cope with soaring energy prices. I covered that yesterday as well, as I recall. Just, put on another shirt. You don't need heat. Sputnik 5's effectiveness for HIV positives revealed. Backing up, what are these nations going to do? I can't begin to sit here and tell you I understand all the intricacies of the energy market, especially when it comes to Europe. Hell, I don't understand it when it comes to here, but from my understanding, they're not really set up to produce enough fuel for themselves. Like the United States, we could do it. We've got everything we need to keep ourselves in fuel. And if they would take the restrictions off and let the oil wells pump oil, we could without a doubt supply all of our own needs in every way. Diesel, gasoline, natural gas. Easy. But not all nations can do that. And a lot of these European nations don't have that capability. And so they rely on other nations like Russia for their energy needs. So what happens if there's a global conflict and those supplies get cut off? That's something that I've really seriously put a lot of thought into in and amongst all this. It's not, I don't look at things as in, does it personally affect me? Because I don't live there, so that wouldn't affect me as if I did live there. But it's important, if you're going to understand this on a global scale, it's important to consider those things. Why is that so important? Why would I dwell on that? Well, because here's why. If Russia threatens to shut off energy supplies to those nations that don't have a way to replace it, that's going to put them in a really bad spot. That move alone is going to entice other nations to go to war. So pretty much the entire situation is a powder keg, to be quite honest. And I've said it a ton of times, I don't see how we're going to back out of this. And the only way I see it possible is for Russia and Ukraine to strike a deal and for the conflict there to come to an end. Then the only way NATO could get their words if they pulled off a false flag. I don't know. It's not good. Let's see. Bank of Russia explains why it kept its reserves abroad. G7 rejects Russian demand to pay for its gas in rubles, says German energy minister. And, I see that, and it's like, okay, well, then doesn't Russia have the right to say, I'm not going to sell it? That's kind of part of all that I've been talking about. I should have included that a while ago. Biden's advisor explains U.S. president's remarks on Russia regime change. Isn't it nice we have to have advisors come out and re-explain what the president said so that we don't wind up in war? Kind of messed up. Offenses against Russians in Germany skyrocket. 2 Israelis killed in second ISIS rampage within a week. There is no substitute for Russian oil, says UAE. Diplomatic war between EU and Russia escalates. Russia sets out its position on West mediation in Ukraine talks. U.S. and Philippines launch largest ever joint military drills. I thought that was interesting too, and probably something to kind of keep an eye on. A Russian liberal newspaper suspends publishing until Ukraine operation ends. I'm sure Putin's going to be really concerned. Moscow to hit unfriendly states with visa restrictions. Russia labels German state broadcaster foreign agent. Ruble flexes muscle as Russia trailblazes new economic path. EU confirms date of its energy independence from Russia. Yeah, by the way, that's 2027. 2027. I don't think they're going to have until 2027 to figure it out. Timeline for major Caspian oil pipeline repair revealed. Woman found dead in Ukraine with swastika carved into her body. That seems a little extreme. Russia-Ukraine negotiators could have been poisoned, says media. And then U.S. doubts Ukraine poisoning claim, says the media. EU country destroys stray naval mine in Black Sea. Biden doubles down on Putin comments. Russia ditches key demands in Ukraine peace talks, says Financial Times. Biden proposes largest ever U.S. military budget. That was it. And are you surprised with that, by the way? I'm not. Not whatsoever. Okay, I was making sure there wasn't any more news since that. There's not. That's, not only par for the course, but I would imagine that you're going to see a whole lot of money get dumped into the military-industrial complex, regardless of how this turns out. Even if things simmer down, I think the United States has learned a lesson for now, and that is that we slept on our defenses for way too long. I don't know. I don't think this is going to simmer down, and I think that both Russia and China are smart enough to know that right now, if they're going to make a move, now is the time to do it. Don't let us get so built back up that we become, a threat to both of them simultaneously, because that's what's important. We have to be a threat to both China and Russia at the same time. We got a lot of work to do to get back there. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I am going to relax the rest of the evening. Wow, I done that pretty quick tonight. Well, that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to kick back. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll do it again. So just keep your eyes open. Keep getting ready. Do not stop getting ready. Anyway, hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.